Hi, my name's Nick Osborne, aka the Coffee Detective, and today I'm going to demonstrate the SunCafe Coffee Pod Brewer made by Kiena, the folks at Kiena.com. I'm really pleased to be demonstrating this machine because it's become a little hard over recent years to find a good coffee pod brewer in the stores. The K-Cup brewers seem to have dominated quite a bit over the last few years, but I like the coffee pod format for a number of reasons that I'll go into, and I like this machine. It's a good looking machine, and one of the things I first noticed about it is it's a sturdy machine. It's a very solid machine. All the parts are solid, and I say that because I've handled a lot of single cup coffee pod brewers, and generally they feel so flimsy. It's like they're made from the same plastic you find in kind of dollar store or kids toys. Very light, very flimsy, and a lot of them I just don't trust to last. So this is quite different, and hopefully the kind of solid build of this is going to translate into reliability and a long life. Now, if you're not familiar with what a coffee pod brewer is, let me show you. The coffee comes in like little sealed sachets to keep them fresh. This is a Royal African coffee, a blend of 3 different African coffees. And what you get inside is this, it's like a tea bag, but it's round and it's a little plump. And it has a kind of flat surface and then the bump at the bottom. So what you do is you take out the little coffee pod tray, you drop in the pod, put it in, and that's it. That's the 1 cup process. And then I'll show you later how you close this to seal it. So that's basically how the coffee pod process works. And again, when I look at this, this is a very, very solid construction. Nice little grooves in there to direct the flow of the hot water while it's in contact with the coffee in the coffee pod. But before we do any of that, I just want to, there was one thing when I took it out of the bag, out of the box, there's one little thing different with this brewer that I haven't come across with other brewers before, and that is that you have to prime the pump. What that means basically is get water into the whole system. So you can't just take it out of the box, plug it in, turn it on and brew. Press the brew button. If you do that, you may well damage the machine. So here's the process. When you get it, first of all, you make sure there's water in the reservoir. You can either pour it in, or this thing in fact removes and you can hold the whole reservoir under the tap, then put it there. It's got a maximum and minimum level there. Once you've got water there, then you plug it in, as I have, but you don't turn it on. Now you might say to me, hey Nick, but it is on, I see the little red light. Well, actually this is just, it takes you about 30 seconds to learn this stuff, but in fact the red light isn't indicating that it's on. The red light indicates that it's plugged into the wall socket. If I want to turn it on, I press that little button and I see a little blue LCD display come up here. But I'm not going to turn it on. You do not turn it on to prime it. So you've unboxed it, you've plugged it into the socket, the red light is showing, there's water in the reservoir. You make sure that the tray is in, but you're not going to put a coffee pod in it right now. You make sure that this lever is down, and then you see these 2 top buttons. This is the brew button and the volume button. The volume button is where you can choose what size of coffee you want to make, depending on the size of your mug or your cup. You press these 2 buttons simultaneously and you hold them down together for at least 3 seconds. And at about the 3-second point, you'll hear the machine kick in. You're going to want to put a coffee mug or something under here first, because for a while water is going to be running through the machine, and that gets water into the pump, and that's what priming the pump is all about. You may want a second mug handy because quite a bit comes through, and this will probably fill up, and then you just put the second one in. Alright, so it sounds a little complicated, but actually it's, when I was reading it I was saying, oh my goodness, I got to prime the pump. But in fact it's just a matter of, it'll take you a minute to do, and once you've done it, you don't have to do it again. Alright, so the pump is primed, I can turn the machine on. like with the button down here, and now we see the display here. And by playing with the pressing this button repeatedly, I can change the volume, whether I want 5 fluid ounces, 8, 9, 12. So you can make a small cup of coffee or a larger cup of coffee with this. Alright, a couple of other things. There's the tray down here, which is going to catch any drips, and of course you can then wash and rinse that as you need to. While we're waiting, we're going to take out the tray. We're going to put our nice little plump coffee pod back in, and it stays fresh for quite a while because each of them are individually sealed. You get a box of 25. There's 25 in there. They're all sealed, so they're ready when you're ready. And again, you can just sort of see the solid construction here. There's nothing flimsy here, which I really like. I kind of dislike throwaway machines. Now, when I put the tray in with the coffee pod in it, I now lock it, and you can feel at about this point there's some pressure as you lock it. What's happening now is the brew head is being pushed down and is sealing onto the tray, because the pump in here pumps that hot water through at pressure, and the pressure is created by sealing this unit. The brew head comes down over the tray, it's now sealed, so pressure can be built up in there, and of course the pod is in there as well. So now I'm going to put my coffee mug under there. I'm going to start the brew in a moment, and I'm just going to let it brew, and you can see now it says ready here. Before that it's still heating. Once it says ready, and you can hear it, it doesn't make a lot of noise. When I start brewing, it does make a bit of noise, and that's really because this is quite a powerful pump in here, and again, a stronger pump than you'll find in most coffee pod brewers. So I'm going to brew it, but then there's a couple of other things I want to tell you after we've done that. So now everything's ready. I've got the green light, not the red light. I've got the display, it's ready, and I just press brew. So you can see it coming down there through the little twin. Now, did you notice how it pours there? I'm going to talk to you about that in a moment. Okay, and now we're done. And you can. One of the interesting things here is just look at that. Look at the froth on this. Good thing I got a good drip tray. If you drink it black, wait a few moments. It's really quite hot, but this wonderful froth, almost like a kind of creamer on the surface there. Really nice, and that's because it is created under pressure. Now, one of the things I was saying is, as it started to brew, it brewed just a little bit, and then it paused. When I first used the machine, I thought, hang on, what's going wrong here? And then I realized what was happening. It's like if you have a house plant and you don't water it for a while, and you just pour a complete, a big cup or jug of water into the plant, it generally just the water just goes around the top, around the edges, and drops straight out the bottom all over the floor or table or whatever. So what you tend to do when you have a dry plant with the dry soil in the potted plant is you put a little bit of water on top first, just to moisten the soil so that the water can actually impregnate, and then you put in more water on top. And that's exactly what's happening here. We've got this sealed brew space in there. The first amount of water goes in, and there's a pause while that water totally impregnates all the coffee grinds within the pod. When that happens, after 2 or 3 seconds, then we get the full push of water, and that water is pushed through under pressure, which is why we've got that kind of froth at the top there. So very, very nice feature. And like I say, by the way, the coffee is wonderful. I've been using it for 2 or 3 days now, and Kiena were kind enough to send me a variety of different coffees to try with this, and it's been great. It makes a wonderful cup of coffee. Now, I've done this the kind of slow way because I've been talking about it, demonstrating it. But if you imagine this process, you come down in the morning, it's already plugged in, you press the on button, it takes a little while to heat up, excuse me, choose your coffee pod, put it in, put that down, press brew, and the whole thing is done very quickly. So now when I'm done, and I take away my cup of coffee and I add cream and coffee to taste, Now I pull the lever back up, I pull the tray back out, and there's the coffee pod. Now it's a little, I wouldn't normally take it in my hand, but I want to show you, this thing is not dripping, it's not soggy like if this was a tea bag. It's like almost all the moisture has been pushed out of that. And the water's gone through all of the pod, all of the grind, so you get a very, very nice extraction. And of course what I like, I got a nice garden outside the window here, and I just drop that straight into the compost bin. In fact, I just put it into a little pot I have next to my coffee maker, and then when it fills up, I just put a dozen at a time into the compost bin, which I like because there's absolutely no waste. There's no worry about recycling or landfills. The pod paper and the coffee grinds are wonderful for compost in your garden. So that goes there. I may want to rinse this, I may want to rinse this, which I won't do right at this moment. But that's it. That's the SunCafe Coffee Pod Brewer. I think it makes a wonderful cup of coffee. I have high hopes for it in terms of a long life, simply because it's so solid and seems to be built so well. Where can you get them? This is a fairly new company. Distribution is fairly limited right now, but wherever you are in North America, if you go to bedbathandbeyond.com or bedbathandbeyond.ca, you can either pick them up in the stores if there's one close by, or otherwise you can order them online. So you probably, you're not going to find it in your local kitchen store or supermarket right now, though hopefully one day you will. But you can get it through Bed Bath & Beyond, either the stores or the websites. So that's it. I'm very pleased with the machine. I'm going to use this one regularly, and I thank the guys from Kiena Coffee for sending it over and for sending those nice coffee pods. Thank you.